So I get two sides of the coin. I get one side that says, you are just a professor. What the heck do you know? And then I get the other side is, you're doing all of this practical stuff. And what the heck do you actually know? Because none of your stuff is actually theoretical. I'm going to tell you, I don't care at the end of the day. I am going to be me. I think what I'm doing with the Reciprocity Project is providing a great deal of good. And if one side doesn't see it, that yes, I am a professor, and yes, I have read a little bit, yes, I understand what ideas are. And then the other side thinks that I am just some blowhard that doesn't know anything because I'm doing something that's practical. But guess what? There's a lot more people in this world than CEOs of Fortune 500 companies that need our help. There's many people, not just Fortune 500 CEOs. There's people that work in hot dog stands. There's people that work in corner stores that need the help of what we actually do and what we actually teach in universities as a business professor. I know that this is hard to take for a lot of people. Some of you might be thinking, hey, what does he have to say? He's just a bunch of ideas. He knows nothing. You know what? I'm spending my hard-earned money and I'm spending my own time to build this thing out. And I'm showing to the world how you can actually do this. And I'm going to show you this right now, I've got a Honey Bunches of Oat book or cereal box, and I have a mug. That's how I'm doing this. I don't have all of the things that you might think that you need to make a big Google or whatever it is in your mind, all of those things. I'm building the Reciprocity Project, and I'm doing the things that I know how to actually do this. I get out there and I actually am doing something, and that is really important. So yes, on that side, I am doing something that's practical, whatever that means. And yes, it is doing the things. I'm not just a blowhard saying all of these ideas and studying all these particular things and how things work. I'm not some high and mighty person. That's not how I grew up. And then on the other side, guess what? There are people in this world that need the help of what we actually know in business school. And those people do not have a lot of money. And yes, they might be in India, they might be in Pakistan, they might be someplace around the world that might need these ideas to figure out how to actually get up and realize that, hey, it's not outside of their reach. Whatever the thing that they're doing, they just have to actually do it. And I think that's where I want to go. I want you to know, I did not grow up with much. Growing up, I had, I guess you would say that I was, regular blue collar kind of family, whatever that is. My dad worked, and then there was us 5 kids. We had tragedy, we had all sorts of stuff that happened in my family, and my parents somehow managed to keep it all together. And guess what? There was lots of things where I heard no. Most things that you would think, oh, well, how come he doesn't do that? Guess what? You know what? I'm Canadian. I grew up in the Great White North, and where there's hockey everywhere. Guess what? I never played hockey because we didn't have the money to actually do that. I heard a lot of no. I went out and I skated, or I went and did sliding, whatever. Yes, we had one car for a long time with a family of 5 people. My dad would take that into work. And yes, there was tragedy in our family. We had all sorts of different things. And yes, I was in special ed and all of this nonsense, like all of this stuff where everybody says that they have these excuses where they can't do it, and I didn't have this or I didn't do this. But you know what? You're forgetting that what you do have is little tiny bits. You have little tiny bits, and you incrementally do it over decades and decades and decades. Do I think I'm going to build a platform that's equivalent to Facebook and Google and all those kind of things this year? I mean, that's silly. That is absolutely asinine. That is stupid. But can I do that do something where it's going to be a platform that's going to be helpful to us to actually get work done, and it's going to help a lot of people around this world in 3 decades from now by doing these little bits and reinvesting my time and effort and money and all those kind of things over the course of the next 30 years? Absolutely. I think I could build it. And you know what? You're going to see absolutely everything, how this actually works. One day, maybe there'll be something where, hey, I just show up and I don't have a Honey Bunches of Oat box, cereal box right now that's holding up my cell phone. And I'm going to be okay with that. And right now, this is what I'm okay with. Building this thing out requires me to do things at my fingertips. This is what I have. I don't have a great big team. I've got some folks in India that are doing the developing. And yes, it is hard to do the language translation and all of that kind of stuff. And yes, there's goofy things that happen all the time with this kind of stuff. It's broken. There's some things that are broken on the Reciprocity platform right now. But am I going to keep doing this day in and day out and keep working at this to make sure that other people know what this is about and what innovation actually is and entrepreneurship actually is? Absolutely, you're going to see that every single day. So the people on this side that think I'm some sort of high and mighty, I've got all these ideas, come on, get real. Guess what I'm actually doing right now? You do not see other people doing this. Nobody's doing this because of the fact that this is hard to do, but also this is not what academics do. Let's get this straight. And then on the other side, all of those people that think we should be just doing ideas and we should focus on things that are just, very academic-y and that this is not important. I want you to think about how many people in Brazil, how many people in Australia, how many people in Canada, how many people in France are going to watch this stuff and they're going to say, you know what? This person is doing it. He doesn't have all of this kind of stuff, but he's doing it. And maybe I can actually do it. And if I could do it, if I could do this little tiny thing, hey, guess what? You know what? I actually might be able to move myself out of poverty. I might be able to create the new cool thing in this particular location that somebody else couldn't do before. I want you to look at this. I want you to look at the world around you. We have all of these resources that are at our fingertips. Amazing things that are at our fingertips now. Most people have cell phones. A huge portion of people, no matter what your salary is, has cell phones in this world. Most people have cereal boxes that they can place up. They've got coffee mugs. They've got whatever. And if you just figure out what the heck that you're going to talk about, and it doesn't matter what you're going to talk about, and you just get doing that thing, and you do that repeatedly over time, good things are going to happen. You just have to have that gumption to actually do it. And you know what? If you're too lazy to do it, I want you to talk about the fact that you're too lazy. And I want you to create this sort of thing that, hey, I'm too lazy to do any of these kind of things. I wonder if there's other people that are too lazy to do any of these kind of things. Because that's amazing. And that's how the world actually works. You actually got to get out and do things time in and time out, no matter what. And my point is, all of this, everybody's just judging each other. But you know what? If you just stood on your own 2 feet and you actually did that, and you repeatedly did that time in and time out, and you had the gumption to actually do this, you'd actually be able to create something and do something that's amazing in this world, no matter where you are and what you're about. And it doesn't matter, even if you don't have access to a cell phone and a cereal box, you can do something that's amazing. You just simply have to do it over and over and over again and ignore absolutely everybody else that's pulling you down. Focus on those people that are pulling you up and ignore all those people that are pulling you down, and keep going. No matter what people are telling you, you can do this. I know you can. Get out there and do some amazing things today. Keep it up.